But we'll now take a look at one where we actually have more unit operations and where we get some information that can be a bit tricky to enter in a mass balance. Where did I put the assignments? They are here. And the one we're going to look at is for 9. I think that's hiding over here somewhere. Here we go, the strawberry one. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you actually, if you haven't solved it yourselves, at least you've seen someone who has solved it by hand and had that presented to you, but we're just going to go through it. In this case, we don't have a drawing, so now I have to find my drawing software, which is there. And let's see what the assignment says. We have strawberries with some water and some solids. We're mixing it with sugar, and then we're evaporating something. So how I would normally do this is to say I have a box where I mix 2 streams. So I have 2 streams entering here, S01, S02. Then I pass it along to an evaporator where I will evaporate some water out, and then hopefully I'll have my jam. So let's just say 1 and 2, so this would be S11, S21 and S22. So this is basically what we are told how the system looks. I'll just make sure that it's not too confusing that I have more than one drawing. So that's what we're looking at now. The information we're given is that our strawberries, so I'm going to say that's our 01, I think, let me just check, yeah, contains 15% of solids and 85% of water. Our 02 is where I want to add my sugar, or my glucose I've decided to call it. This will be pure sugar, so that is 100% of glucose. We mix them together. So in stream 1.1 we actually don't know anything about the compositions really. In 2.1 we know that that's the water we're evaporating, so here we'll have 100% of water. And in the final stream we actually are only told that 1/3 of that stream is water. So that's what we know from the start, and we'll now try and put that into Excel. So if I can just find Excel. I can't. There we go. We'll make a new one. This one was for 9. I've made a small drawing here. Oh, are we told the masses? Ah! Da, 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 da. Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. I'll add that when we get to Excel, because I actually wouldn't put that in my drawing of my system. I'll show you how I'll add it to Excel so it's a bit easier to keep track of. So we can say we have our stream 01, our stream 02, stream 11, stream 21, stream 22. I wouldn't object to you actually putting it in, so just jumping back here. God, my writing is terrible. So if you, for instance, how would you do that? So you could say that you could call this one M01. Oh, you can't see that. The mass in 01, M01. And then my mass for 02, if you call that, what'll that be? 55 over 45 times M01. I believe that's what it checks out as. If you wanted to write that, sure. I know you've had actually I think it's 431, the distillation one you struggle with. Two of the streams in the top, they are both labeled like I think it's N3, both of them, to basically say the amount of moles in both of the streams are the same. But that's, I won't really N1, yeah. I won't really get bogged down in that. If you want to add it somewhere so you have it in your drawing, I can understand that. You'll see that the way I put it in, I'm actually not gonna add that information right away. So did they end up looking mostly the same? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so I have the sketch of the system here just so we know which streams are which. And again, we have our total, we have our solids, we have our water, and we have our glucose. And then we have our percentage of solids, our percentage of water, and our percentage of glucose. And finally our fraction. I'm just gonna skip through this a bit quickly. I think you all get this part of the concept by now. And we're gonna start to enter information. Now, in the assignment at the start, we're actually not given any masses. So all of these, we could say that they are actually unknowns or variables. Where's my orange? I like the orange. What else are we told? We're told about some compositions. In 01, 15% of solids, 85% of water, no glucose. In our 02, we only have glucose. What else? In 11, no idea what the composition is gonna be. In 21, I know it's only gonna be water because that's the water I'm evaporating. And in the final one, how do I want to do that? You could put in that this has to be a third, because we know a third of it has to be water. Wasn't that how they stated it? 1/3 water by mass. So you could put that in here if you wanted. For now, I'm just gonna leave that blank just to show you how you can set it up in a different way. And then we'll actually try and put in a third there to see if that works as well. It should, of course. Now, for balances, we have a total mass balance. We have our solid, water, and glucose. We have for our first, second, and our total system. And we basically just start out and say, in our first unit operation, what enters? Well, that's 01 plus 02. What exits? 11. There we go. Balance for the first one. Drag it along. Check that it's doing what I want. Yes. In the second one, what is entering our second unit operation? That would be 11 minus 21 plus 22. That check out. 11 enters, 21 and 22 exits. Yep. We can then drag it along. Check one of them to make sure. Yes. And finally, our total, what enters would be 01 plus 02. And what exits would be 21 and 22. There we go. So now I actually have all of my balances. Again, only, for instance, only this part of them would actually be valid equations. All of the other equations I can derive from these 6 equations. So now we look at some of the information we're given. First of all, just for the fun of it, how many unknowns do we have right now? That should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just gonna write that here. 11 degrees of freedom right now. Now, up here we saw that I had 6 equations. So that's 6 of my degrees of freedom I can remove. For my compositions, again, if I know 2 of them, I know the final one. I have that in 2 streams here. So I can subtract another 2 degrees of freedom. What else can I do? Right now I can't really do that much more. If I had my third already, I could put that in. But what I can do now is I can say that I'm given some extra information. I'm being told that the relation between S01 and S02 is 45 over 55, right? That information is given in the assignment right here, 45-55 mass ratio. I can then put up an equation here where I say if I take 45 over 55 and I subtract my mass of 0.1, I just need a parenthesis, my mass of 0.1 divided by my mass of 0.2, I expect this to give me 0, right? If the relations are the same and I subtract them, it should give me 0 in total. So I'm just going to put in some numbers so we don't have that stupid divide by 0. And the other thing we're told is that S22 must consist of a third water. So again, we can actually just say a third minus the composition of water in 22. That should also give me 0. The reason I do it like this, and I actually spoke with Kristen about this for a while, how to do this, is these relations, you could put them in here, for instance. So I could say this one would be equal to 55/45 of stream 01 and all of this. The reason we do it down here is we've seen sometimes Excel has trouble if the constraints don't go to 0. And at the same time, it's much more easy when you go back to it to actually see what you have been doing. Because if I don't do it like this, you can only put in one relation per field, while you might want more of them. Yeah, I mean, one of the issues I ran into was one of the assignments you were told something that affected multiple things in a stream. Yeah, so there are different ways you can write up these relations. But if we do it like this, if these go towards 0, then the 2 information should be correct. I'll just check my cheat sheet if I did it the same way. Yeah, okay, that should work. So I've put in my 2 constraints here. That should basically put me down to 1 degree of freedom. And where is my final one? Actually, that is because I can pick one for myself. So I think in the assignment, if we look at it, it's actually not till, where do we have it? In part C, we're actually told a mass that we have to solve for. So in this case, to make a pound of jam. So if we go to our jam stream to 2, let's try and see what happens if we put in a 1 there. Actually, I haven't tried this one, so we don't know if it'll work. And, oh, I just have to mark it in green. We have now decided the value of this cell. And the final thing I need to do is to set up all of these. That was the wrong way because I want that one. That one. There we go. And I just want to put in some values so it doesn't mess up. There we go. I've put values, random values into all of my, more or less random values into my unknowns. I've picked that I want to produce 1 pound. So now I want to set up my solver. N2, does that check out? N2, we want it to be equal to 0. We'll try and say we want all of our mass balances to be 0. Have that there. And then I can say these two conditions I also want to be 0. And is there anything else? What can Excel change? These ones. Whoa, these ones. Oh, it messed up. Hang on. There we go. These ones and these ones. And just out of habit, I want all of my fractions to be equal to 1. 0, 1, 0, 0. Fingers crossed. Boom. No, what has gone wrong? So now we will start to look at where it might have gone wrong. I suspect that Excel doesn't like if you actually have too many equations. So if we just say that we just take it from the start. I want that one to be equal to 0. I want that one to be equal to 0. And I want these to be equal to 0. And you may change these cells, these and these. Am I happy with the value? No. What have I messed up? That one. Actually, I think the issue might be that I have left the compositions, all of them as variables. So I'm just gonna take for these two for my glucose and say these ones are actually defined because they're equal to 1 minus that one minus, oh dear, can't I do that? Sucks. 1 minus the sum of those two. We'll just cheat a bit. Okay, that went a bit fast. Sorry about that. So I've just put in that my percentage of glucose in the two streams where we didn't know it had to be 1 minus the sum of the others. And I just want to put in some values here that are not the guesses of Excel. This. And then I just need to check my conditions again because Excel can only change these, these and these. And just to be nice, I will just add the green color to these and solve it. Let's see what happens. No! It was going so well. Here we have... Why are you not telling me when I write stuff that's not true, dear students? Clearly that's a wrong equation. So, what enters in my first one would be that one plus that one minus that one. Right, 1, 1. Hopefully, we'll just check the others. That one looks fine. 1 entering, 2 exiting, and this one 2 entering, 2 exiting. There we go. Yay! Okay, so in case you didn't catch it, I had made a mistake here where I had added my B4 instead of subtracting it. I changed that, changed it for all of the other balances for my first one, and I'm now at a point where Excel can finally find the solution. Now, I also said we could try, instead of having the relations down here, it should be possible for us to just put them in here. So we could say that's a third. We could say this one is 55/45 times the stream above it. So basically what I've said now is that the 55/45. I know it says 45/55, but that's because, okay, we'll make it easy instead. This one, I don't know what it is. This one is equal to 45/55 of that one. So that's how it goes. If I want to express it the other way, it'll be 55/45. Lovely thing to say. And we'll just mark these two and say we've actually defined these in the cells. And we just have to remove it from our solver. This is gonna end in tears, but we'll do it anyways. I want all of my equations to be 0. And Excel is allowed to change these, and that one. Oh, for heaven's sake, stupid Excel. No, of course not. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm not listening. I can't hear you. There we go. Yeah, so the problem is you can actually only set the objective of one cell in Excel. So I have put in N2 is equal to 0, and I know I'm repeating myself down here. That actually shouldn't be a problem, though it sometimes is. All students look away. Hey, you can look back. Excel solved it. So it's the exact same equations, I've just put them into Excel in a different way, where the main reason I do it, where I write them down here, is it's much easier to keep track of what you're doing, because if you didn't have these, if you just look at your sheet, you're like, unless you color code them, you actually can't see what's going on. And more importantly, when you come back to this tomorrow, you'll look at this and you'll go, where did the 45/55, how did that appear? So make sure that you somehow note where you get all of your information from. So I tend to do it like this, where I say that we have an information given that the relation of 0,1 and 0,2 is 45/55. Sometimes I would even add after that to say this means M, what is that? 0,1 is equal to 45/55 times M02. So I actually can see what it is I'm doing, what equations I want to write. But yeah, that was another one solved. So if we want to produce 1 pound of jam, we need 48 centipounds, stupid system, and 59 centipounds. I'm gonna call them centipounds. That's how it is. And of course we can then change if we want to know if we put in 100 kilograms here or 100 pounds. We can adapt and solve. So that was for 9.